you be a great leader if you're constantly going into the bathroom to jerk off and fantasize about women that you don't have? One thing that I realized in the past few months that has been transformative in my journey away from porn is that to be a man who demands respect and to be a man who people look up to, you have to be a leader. You have to lead with authority and power. You have to be a man who makes executive decisions. If you're a man who can make decisions in hard times and get through emergencies and make hard calls, like being a leader's hard. You have to make decisions that sometimes are wrong. You have to own your decisions and live with them. Like when you're a man of the household, you have to make hard decisions that your wife and kids trust in. Like sometimes you're going to make a decision wrong, but you have to continuously lead with authority and power and integrity. And one thing that I noticed when I was watching porn over 2 years ago was that I was unable to be confident in my decisions. I would watch porn. I would, you know, I would sit there afterwards, pretend like it never happened. I'd be like, no one will know. No one is going to find out. And then when people would ask, oh, how was your day, Harley? I would say, how was it? What did I do? You know, and I would have to come up with a story of like what I did, because what I did was I spent 25 minutes on, you know, debating whether I was going to watch porn on Instagram, scrolling past pictures. Then I'd finally get to the porn and I would sit there for an hour thinking about it and watching and looking and, you know, staying hooked. And then finally I would release. And then afterwards I'd feel horrible. And then I would try to go out and run a cleaning business, which I do. And that, like, I was unable to be as good of a leader because I secretly hated myself and I secretly had habits that I didn't want anyone knowing about. So I constantly had to think about, like, how honest should I be? Oh, what should I say? Oh, I don't want to say something that might give up my addiction. Oh, I better kind of hide this part of myself. Let's hide this other part of myself too. And like, it made me a wishy-washy leader. I would walk into the office and instead of leading with authority, saying what's on my mind, saying it with confidence and power, I would reserve my opinion. Oh, well, I don't know what I think. I'm kind of in uncertain territory. I say I'm against porn, but then I go and watch it. I say I'm all about self-improvement, but then I go and watch porn. I say I'm really interested in growing relationships, but secretly I have habits that destroy relationships. I'm one thing to some people and another thing to myself. And I had this two-faced, wishy-washy, people-pleasing lifestyle of like, oh, I don't want to say something that would make people think bad about me because I already feel badly about myself enough. I hate myself. So I want to make sure that people look at me like I'm good because deep down I feel horrible. And when you have that mindset, you don't really cultivate any leadership. You don't cultivate respect from people. People look at you almost like kind of a beta, a weak person who doesn't have the confidence or balls to say what he thinks. And when you start to become a more integrated person, when your words and actions and values all are in alignment, like I think this, I believe this, and I do this, all in sync, you become a person who is less worried about what comes out of your mouth. Because if you're a guy who watches porn all the time and you're a person who thinks he wants to be moral and, you know, treat women well, but then you're around a group of guys and something splurts out where it's like, yeah, I'd love to have a threesome or whatever. This is just a random example. But like the point is, when you are subjectifying yourself to something that you deep down know that you shouldn't be doing, like, you're causing a rift between, you know, one part of you and another, and you're almost splitting yourself. It makes it really hard for you to understand who you are, what you stand for, and consequence of that, the people that you're trying to lead, whether it's your wife, your kids, your people in your office, or whatever it is, people are going to question your authority. They might undermine it because they can sense, oh, he's a little uncertain about it. You can tell he doesn't really even know. You can tell he's on shaky territory here. Like, but when you notice a person that is speaking with integrity and truth and power and vulnerability and doesn't care what people think, that is a person who demands respect from people. That is a person who can lead a room. That is a person where as soon as you walk in, the entire atmosphere of a room changes because they can sense the power coming from you, the power radiating off of you. And it's not some authoritarian power. It's a power that can keep people in order and can keep people safe and secure. And that's exactly what women want. And that's exactly what people want if you're leading them in business. So this is just an idea that I've been toying with, which is the idea of, if you want to be a real man who can lead your wife or lead in a business setting, you watching porn just is going to make it so much harder, because a lot of you watching think, oh, I don't want to be watching porn. I would never tell anyone because it's obviously wrong, but I do it. And so it's like you're splitting who you are, and it's causing a rift in your soul. And it's like making it so that like your soul and heart are like, so who is Harley? What should I do and say in this moment? Well, one side would say this, the other side would say this. And it leaves you either A, saying things that are off character, or B, making you not say much at all or not act at all, sitting back like a follower, a person who's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say because I don't even know who I am. I don't even know why I'm doing this. It's like, that is something that once you realize that no matter what room you're in, no matter who you're around, no matter who's watching, if you're the same person in every room, you don't have to think about, should I say this? Should I say this? Am I going to offend someone? What are people going to think of me? It's like, I don't care what people think of me because I know how vehemently horrible porn is. I know how it ripped a relationship out of my life. I know how it made me feel day in, day out, every night, every morning. It would make me feel like hell. And I know that making these videos is going to make people think that I'm a weird person online, but I don't give a single crap because guess what? I'm a person who is the same person in front of the camera. I'm the same person with my woman, and I'm the same person in business. It's like, I don't care what you think. I'm going to say what's on my mind. I'm going to say it with love, but I'm going to say it. I'm not going to hold back and pretend to be one person and then be another person. It's like, no. I'm going to be me, and you're going to get what you get. And that's something that once you quit porn and once you cut out other habits in your life that you know aren't serving you, you become a person who doesn't really care what other people think. It's like, oh no, I'm saying no to going out to the bar. Oh no, what are people going to think about me? It switches to, I'm not going to the bar. People respect me, and the people who are inviting me to the bar will stop inviting me. Awesome, because I don't like going. People around me might even start improving their life because of who I am. Awesome. And I'm going to have more time to work on me and improve myself and become even more confident and even more of a leader. Awesome. It's like, it's not that hard once you realize that, part of who I am is because of trying to fit in, or part of who I am is because I've been too afraid to open up about this, so I've never actually tried to solve it. It's like, once you realize like, there are parts of you that you could fix, there are parts of you that you could cut off, and there are parts of you that you should amplify forward and be you with. It's like, I know this is a unique concept, but if you're able to have your words, actions, and feelings all kind of align in one channel direction, your leadership is solid and your direction in life grows. Like you meet better people, you become a better person, and you start to respect yourself more. And when you have that self respect, I said no to porn. I said no to going out to the bar. I said no to talking about women in this horrible way. I said no to hanging out with the friends that I know are a bad influence. It's like, I don't care what anyone thinks. I am on a new path. And I know that me taking this path is going to better the lives around me. It's going to better my woman's life. It's going to better my kid's life. And that's the life I want. That's the man I want to be. I want to not be swayed by people's opinions. I don't want to be swayed by addictive behaviors. I want to be swayed by nothing other than the power of truth and authority, just like Jesus and just like Socrates. I want to be just like them. I don't want to care what people think. I don't. Because as soon as I start doing that, I start pretending to be someone else. I start acting in ways that don't align with my core values. And I start giving excuses, or I start, making, what's the right word here? Exceptions. Oh, I'm going to make an exception here. And then that exception becomes the rule. And then it's like, oh, yeah, I guess I am a person who does that. And yeah, I don't really know what I stand for. And I just kind of go with the crowd. And guess what? Your wife stops respecting you. You start looking at yourself like a weakling. And no one in the world realizes or wants to hear what you have to say. So I just think this video had to be made because leadership is literally the most important thing that you could become. Leadership is the most powerful quality you can possess as a man. It makes women want you. It makes your woman never want to leave you. But if you're engaging in things where you're bending to desires, or bending to social conformity, or bending to try to fit in or try to please people, you will never love yourself, and your woman will never respect you, and you'll probably not solve your addictions. And so stop making exceptions, start making commitments that are real, and start getting around high quality men that do not make weak exceptions just to fit in. So if you want to have a conversation about leadership, quitting porn, cutting out bad habits, and becoming a very integral man, book a call with me. There's a link in my description. I'd love to have a conversation because most guys, they go around their life, oh, yeah, I'm a pretty good guy. Yeah, I feel like I'm doing pretty good. People pat me on the back. Yeah, great job, Josh. Great job. You're doing good. But deep down, I don't really know what's going on. I don't really know who I am. I actually don't feel proud of myself at all. And that's the kind of conversation I want to have, man. There's no more need to be living in this fantasy where you're one person to one and another person to another, and you're pretending to be this and that. No more pretending, man. Have a heart to heart and start changing your life. Start making clear boundaries and start becoming a person of integrity and power. I'll see you in the next video, and I might even see you on that call. See you soon.